Well, I stepped through my skylight, although after all the roof patches that has been done over the years with this thing, there wasn't much light coming through, but I stepped through it, so looks like it's time to replace it. My new powered window light is gonna be 14 by 14, and this is only 13 by 13 here, plus it's round and not square. So let's check out what it looks like underneath. Well, it looks like I have plenty of room down here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to move one of my LEDs. I've got LEDs for lights. Just quick tip, the benefit of this is you don't have to worry about glass, therefore it doesn't have to be covered if you're using your vehicle as a food truck. But anyway, let's see if I can't relocate this, and there's plenty of room. Might be able just to squeeze it in and offset the inch over here. I think that's what I'm going to do, but I wanted to check this out before I got started. I decided to go ahead and cut this from the top. I was getting ready to cut it from underneath with the jigsaw, but really concerned about getting stuff in my eyes. Even if I use eyeglasses, I'd almost need a face shield. Plus all the debris coming inside of the food truck just wouldn't be the best thing for me to try to keep positive relationship with my wife. I like sleeping inside. Anyway, I'm going to cut this from the other side. I just was marking it with the drill, and also to get a good bite with the jigsaw. I'm just going to make these a little bit bigger so the jigsaw blade fits in without having to get crazy. Alright, so I have broomed this off and went ahead and drilled the holes a little bit bigger. I think I'm going to cut this, I'm guessing it's plastic out, or if I can just break it out, I'm going to break it out. And that's just so that there's not a lot of extra weight when it falls through. I've attached a box up underneath. Yeah, it's going to break just fine. And there's the box I've taped and up here on the ceiling. That way all the debris don't go flying down into it. I think I'm going to have a little bit of trouble with this aluminum because right here it's pretty springy. But I've got my metal blade on my drill. Not necessary on this surface, but I try to keep this faceplate taped up so that it doesn't scratch up wood and various things that I'm cutting. So let's get that cut out. Alright, I like this better than the other moonroof, but we don't need so much rain inside. So let's go ahead and dry fit this with one hand tied behind my back. Alright, it fits. Especially want to do that before you put the mastic on, because then if it doesn't fit, then you have a wonderful mess. Anyhow, let's put the mastic on and I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's going to seal our roof. This is the mastic seal I was referring to. It's a bit like tar. This is approved for all Dish and DirecTV uses, so there's no reason why it won't work here. Basically it's 4 inches wide and around 3/16 long, so I can only get 3 cuts out of a 4-inch piece. So what I've done is I've cut 2 4-inch pieces, and I'm going to just split them in half. Alright, so I've got them split in half already, and I'm going to take these and attach them to all 4 sides of this, and we're going to set it in the hole and then put some screws in. Interesting thing about this is if it's hot outside, you want to keep this somewhat refrigerated, because at around 85 degrees it really starts to get gooey. I was able to cut this with some scissors. Don't go for your wife's favorite scissors, just have some shop scissors. But anyway, I cut this in half. I cut the 14-inch strips, and then it looked perfectly clean. Although I'm still going to clean my scissors, they looked perfectly clean afterwards. If you're cutting this and it's hot outside, I'd recommend putting it in a cooler, you know, getting it down around 70 to 50 degrees. That way it cuts really easy and it works really easy, doesn't stick to your hands. Let's let it melt on the roof and not on ourselves. Anyway, check in a second. Here it is installed with the mastic tape. One thing you should definitely be sure of is the direction. You want this to pivot open. You know, if you were to have this open while you're driving, make sure the hinge is in front so that it swings up. I've got the original screws in. I actually just drilled. See, we made a nice mess there. Drilled and screwed the screws. I could have got self-tappers, but I kind of like the color, and they seem to be pretty good quality screws, plus they're countersunk. This mastic will hold up for a long time. So now I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I ran the line over into my 12-volt junction box. I'm going to try to find some more of this cable wrap. If not, I'll just find an extension cord that I've cut and just steal the jacket off of about 8 inches of it. I'm going to leave the screws as they are, but this thing does come with a trim. But honestly, it's meant for a mobile home. This is a food truck, so the walls are very thin here. You can see this is 1.25 inches, and there is insulation underneath of it. I remounted this using double-sided tape, and I just need to tie this wire off or pull some slack of it here and put it back inside. But that's about it. Oh, I would like to show you it running. If you can see, it's not running right now. That's a safety feature because this shaded roof is closed. Shaded vent. You see it's taken off as I'm winding it up. Got this airplane going on. That's 1, 2, 3. And I'm not worried about pulling too many amps or too many watts, however you want to go through that one, because this is only rated for 4 amps. I think it only pulls 3. It's got a 4 amp fuse, so they're saying to replace this with a 4 amp fuse. 3-speed control. Putting a fan in here wasn't only because I stepped through the roof. I was at a show and this thing had been running for hours, and the mounting hardware came loose somehow and bound up, and so we had no vent, and it was stifling in here. So this would have made a lot of difference to be able to evacuate the hot air. We shut down the grill, but still it was super hot in here. We still made cold sandwiches and things like that, but that's about it. See ya. Well, here it is. I couldn't leave well enough alone, so I ended up cutting this beauty ring with a cutoff tool. Make sure you wear a mask if you're gonna do something like this. And I still like this feature that I haven't secured this beauty ring yet. I think instead of putting screws on, I'm just gonna hot glue it, but I did want to show you that you don't have to turn it on and off. See, it's on one. This thing, if it's closed, has a nice safety feature that it won't run being closed. I don't know how safe, but you know, you don't want to waste electricity anyway. This is running off my 12-volt battery bank, and I just tied it into the lights, so if you don't have the lights on, this thing won't work, but I could sneak another wire down through here, or I suppose I could use the ground as a hot, but I don't really want to do that. Anyway, that's it. All I have left to do is screw this on with a cable tie, hot glue this, and call it done. Anyway, wife hasn't even seen it yet. You guys will see it first. If you like these videos and you want to see more, or if you want to see the entire painful process, just drop me a note in the comments section, and I'll try to set up a camera and do the whole thing. It'd be a lot easier if I could record from glasses. That would be awesome. Anyway, about ready to get a new camera, I think. Something a little bit better quality. This one won't do the high quality videos without overheating. So that's that. But anyway, hope you enjoy this. Have any questions, just leave a comment. Cheers.